So hello everyone, today is the day that I finally have a little shootout between my newly acquired Jet JS300 and my number one Strat, my 50s Classic Series Strat from 2017. Now, and we're going to answer the question, can you take a budget guitar, upgrade it and make it just as good or even better than something that's 4 times its price? So what we're going to do is we're going to play a little bit of both guitars, I'm going to talk, and then in a little bit I'm going to give you the costs that I've spent on these guitars, okay? So let's play a little bit of the guitars first. So here we are finally. We've got my Jet versus my Fender. So let's start by telling you what the Jet is up against. So what modifications I made to my Fender. If I don't get stuck with the Strat. There we go. So off the bat, I play guitars left-handed, so these are strung and modified to be left-handed, but that doesn't matter, it's the same case. If you just kept them right-handed, there's some little things you wouldn't do. But anyway, so we have this Strat here. So the modifications are, we have locking tuners, these are from Geica. We have a Graphtec Tusk XL nut, left-handed. I've got the original string tree on this one, seems to work. The pickups, we have the Seymour Duncan SSL 1s in the neck and the middle, and we have an SSL 5 at the bridge. That's because I like David Gilmour and I read he uses a version of that. The other two are because I'm a John Frusciante fan and I like his 55 maple Strat. So as you can see, I took inspiration from that. It's got a 7¼ inch radius neck. It's a soft V shape. I bought this new in 2017 and then I modified it from there. Further upgrades, the wiring. We have the bridge pickup wired to this tone control, so it controls these. We've got the pure tone input jack with the dual contact points, which is nice. This is a Callahan bridge. So Callahan, I believe it's the same or similar to David Gilmour's. Again, I'm a big Gilmour fan. On my white Strat, I broke the tremolo arm, so I upgraded it to a Callahan bridge. And I loved it so much that when I got this guitar, I bought another one straight away. So I really love these. The way it's set up is I've got 3 springs in the back and it's very, very light to touch. You can do that thing like that from the back. Sounds awful, but yeah, when it's not plugged in. If I set it to E standard tuning, I have it set floating so I can pull back a semitone. As it is now, it's in E flat and it doesn't allow me to do that. Just a little wiggle. So yeah, and then we have the strap locks. So I've got a gold coloured set on here, so the guitar strap doesn't come off. Right, I really like those. In terms of the pots, they're the same. The Fender 5-way switch came with the guitar, so I didn't have to change that. And that's it. That's this guitar. So I like my 50s Strat because it plays really nice and it's very versatile. With the upgrades, I've got the Seymour Duncan pickups, the nice bridge. I can play lots of styles on that. Okay, so that's kind of the remit I had to have for the Jet. So it had to be able to do all of that, but for a fraction of the price. So let me talk you through the upgrades we have on this. So a similar story. We have lock-in tuners, but these ones are from Vanson. Okay. We have, well, I've got a Graphtec string tree coming. That will replace this string tree because the original Jet one is terrible. So it catches on the strings. So I'm getting a Graphtec. It has the Graphtec nut on it, same as that one. Slightly different colour though. That seems to have gone yellow and this is white. The fretboard and the neck are completely different shapes. This is more of a C shape and it's got a 9½ inch radius. The frets are a lot deeper. So when it comes to playing, I can kind of feel that. Swapping between the two, I can glide on this fretboard. This one's a little bit more resistive with the frets, but not too bad. We have the pickups have changed to Fender vintage style pickups, which actually came out of this guitar. So they're the original pickups to this guitar. I've put in this guitar. Okay. Again, I had them lying around, but later I'll give you a price of how much they roughly should cost. This has had a Fender 5-way switch fitted, because the original Jet one I didn't like. The tone pots are the same, but the plastic covers are Fender pickup covers that made them, the pickup and control covers, I made them white for to go with the pickup covers on this. I just like the colour. Okay, bridge. So that has a Callahan bridge. This one has a Wilkinson 6-point tremolo unit, and it's actually running 4 springs. So the difference with the 2 tremolos is it's a bit stiffer to use, but all I have to do is take one of the springs out and it's roughly the same as that. It's a bit lighter than that one, that's why I put 4 springs in. I tried it with 3 springs and literally you could breathe on it and the whammy bar would move, so a bit too light for me. Yeah, so there's that, and it also has the pure tone input jack as well, same as this, and the same strap locks, Amazon specials, yeah, but they seem to work, so I'm not going to pay a fortune for branded ones when the Amazon ones just do just as good a job. I mean, there we go. So they are the guitars and they are the specs. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to play each guitar just through. A couple of sounds on my pedal board, through the pickups a few times. I have other videos going through these pickups, so I'm not going to do every position, but we're just going to hear some off the bat differences, and then afterwards I'm going to give you the price of each one, what I've spent, and also my opinions and impressions. Okay, so let's hear these two guitars just played as they are. So let's do the Fender first. We'll do the bridge pickup. Roll the volume back a bit. Clean this up. We've got the bridge pickup. Very bitey. Let's put some compressor on that. Change key. Then we've got some distortion. And we got the middle pickup. Perfect for blues, actually. Yeah, and then we've got the whammy bar. So still stays in tune. You can play some nice well, I've got to set this, you know, really light, so doesn't take a lot. I've only got 3 springs in this one. Nice, okay. What else we got? Let's do some. Copyright strike. Right, fuzz. And that is the Fender Stratocaster. And here is the blood-covered Jet. The blood gives it more sustain. Now, this is in E standard tuning, this guitar, so it'll sound a bit higher, but it's already a bit woollier compared to the Seymour Duncans. Very bright on the bridge pickup, but roll back the volume and it's the same story. It cleans up nicely. Change key. compressor again. So the whammy bar on this one is a bit tougher because it's got 4 springs. So when you try and... it takes a bit of forcing. I'm going to keep it like this for now. All I have to do is take a spring out if I want it like the other one. I just want it to be slightly different, the guitars. Right, distortion. There we go, and then let's do the old fuzz. So, hope you got an idea for the sounds there. Certainly with the Jet guitar, with these pickups, I found that the neck pickup was a lot darker than the Seymour Duncans. Still sounds nice, but after you play the Seymour Duncans, you suddenly realise, oh, they're a bit darker. The Seymour Duncans have some kind of higher note in there when you play with the pickup. I'm going to sound pretentious now, but unplugged, that's the Jet, which I think sounds lovely. And then when you compare that to the Fender, can you hear? For me in the room, feeling it as well, it's a lot brighter, yeah? I can hear differences for me. We're not going to do the whole tone wood rubbish that's going around. We'll skip that debate, but we basically have Mexico's finest wood versus China's finest wood, yeah? And the construction and the types of wood, I mean, they just unplugged, they sound different for me, which is good. They need to be different, but different doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Just because they sound different doesn't mean it sounds bad, particularly when you look at the price. So I've left the price until now because I didn't want the price to reflect what people's opinions might be on these. Okay, so I have my sheet. I did some costs. So I think what we'll do is we'll just go through each element of each guitar, and at the end I'll give a total. Okay, so the Jet guitar, to buy it, cost me £159. The Strat, they're both Strats, but the Fender, you can't buy this anymore, new. This is from 2017, but what you can get is the Vintera 2 series, which is basically the same thing, made in Mexico, vintage style Stratocaster. So to buy one of those is £929, I found. I'm using famous German website for the prices. It seems to be accurate-ish. So yeah, we've got £159 versus £929. So straight away, 5 times the price. Right, then we get to the nut. So both have a Graphtec nut, that's £13 each, okay? The bridge, here's the big difference. So the Jet has a £20 Wilkinson bridge, whereas my Fender has a £160 Callahan bridge. Okay? Are you with me so far? Right, the biggest expense, apart from buying the guitars in the first place, are the pickups. So, the pickups in the Jet were originally from this guitar, but you can find vintage style pickups from Fender from around £150. You can get the 60s set or something. You can even get noiseless pickups for about 170 if you want Eric Clapton style, okay? So the Jet are £150. The Seymour Duncan SSL1 and SSL5 together, you can get from £280 to £300. When I bought this guitar in 2017, please bear in mind the prices in 2017 were about 30% less. Okay, so I didn't pay £300 for pickups. I paid probably £180 for the pickups. Okay, but I have to give you the prices for today, which is 2024. So we have 150, 280. Tuners. They're both locking tuners. The Fender has a set from Geica. The Jet, I tried a Geica set and they didn't work, so now I have a Vanson set, but both are about £30. Okay? The Vansons were 33, the Geica were 30. String tree. I don't need one on the Fender, so only the Jet has a string tree. I've spent £12 on a Graphtec string tree. Strap locks, they're £5 each. You buy them in a pack of them in a pack of 3 for like £12. So let's just call it £5 each. The switch. So we don't need the switch in the Strat. We already had the switch. So in the Jet, it's £15. Okay, but if you wanted to, if you had one of these Stratocasters, I'm not sure if the Vinteras have proper Fender switches. They may have like the cheap Chinese switches like in this. So that's £15 if you need to do it. I know on my white Japanese Strat from 2005, it has the cheap Chinese horrible block switch, so I'm going to switch that out, okay? Input jack. They both have the pure tone input jack. That's £14 each. The plastic covers, didn't need to do it on the Fender, but on the Jet, these white plastic covers and a back plate from Fender are £22. Okay? So that's it. That's what I've spent on these guitars. So the grand total for the Jet, £443. This modified Jet. So from £159, I've spent up to £443 to get it playing like it is now. The Fender, remember you can buy standard guitar for £929. So far I have spent £1,446 if I was to do this today. Like I said, I haven't spent that. I bought this in 2017. I've probably spent £1,200, probably. Still though, this guitar now is 4 times as much as this guitar. 3 or 4 times as much, okay? So that brings me on to conclusion, my thoughts. Is this guitar worth 4 times as much as the Jet? Or have I made the Jet sound just as good as the Fender for 4 times less? And the answer is, I'm not sure yet. Oh, every time I pick up the Jet and I think I've done a brilliant job and I've done it for a quarter of the price, I then pick up the Fender and then I'm like, yeah, but it's still nice. So it's not a drastic difference, okay? Yes, I've actually made this a lot better. I'm so happy. I actually was gonna get rid of this guitar in the beginning, and then magic happened, and I added the correct bits that it should have had when it left the factory. But that's just my opinion. This guitar for £159 isn't finished. So you could spend, minus the pickups then, you could spend another 250 on the guitar and get it absolutely bang on, yeah? But for under £500, this is an immense guitar, okay? It feels good, it plays good. I mean, it just does loads of different things, yeah? I mean, fantastic. £500, under £500, you get a guitar, and I've played this live, and it's fantastic, and it looks good, and it draws blood. It feeds off blood. But then you say to yourself, I've done it. You don't need to spend £1,000 on a Fender, on a Mexican Fender. And then what happens is you pick it up and you hold it and you go, that feels nice though. And then you strum it and you just feel it, and the neck size, and like I said, the frets are amazing on this. The neck's brilliant on the Jet, but the frets are amazing on this, I must say. And the whole package, just, you can... I mean, just the confidence to do whatever you want, any style. I mean, just, yeah. Is it worth 4 times as much? To me, it is. To me, it's worth 4 times as much, because I've had 4 times as many gigs with it. I've had 4 times as much fun with it. My confidence level is 4 times as much, but every time I then go onto this guitar and I start playing along and I make little tweaks, like adding the 9s on this, the strings are 9s. Compared to 10s on this. Once I added the 9s, my confidence went up again. So with the Fender, my confidence level is like here. It just, I feel like I can do what I want. With the Jet, it started here, and then I do a little change and it goes up and up and up, and then I find another little thing and it goes up. So before long, my confidence level on both guitars should be the same, yeah? And they both do different jobs. I've got this for playing in standard tuning, and I've got the Fender for playing in E flat. And the songs that I play in E flat are mostly mine, what I write. So I see that as a personal like songwriting tool. Whereas with this one, it's for doing like covers or to do a quick little video or a little jam session. So that has that job. And both guitars, they do their job. Basically, they do their job. So, is it worth 4 times as much? The Fender, is it worth 4 times as much? I'm saying yes. It's certainly not making me feel, oh, what did I spend that for? You know, it's if I spent 4 times as much and it played like a dog, and I didn't want to play it, then no, I'd say go for the budget guitars every time. But with the experience I've had, I've got myself a nice guitar, yeah, for that money. And this had to be made nicer. So don't let them think that you can get it for £160 and that's it, you're set. Yeah, the budget guitars need a bit of work to get them how you want them to be. Yeah, it's all personal. I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there that'll love it out the box, but I didn't. Whereas with the Fender, I remember when I got that in 2017, I kind of loved it out the box. Apart from being right-handed, you know, I had to change it to left-handed. That was basically it. Also, making the modifications, basically everything dropped into place. You take a part off, you put the new part on, it all fits. You put it on and you get playing. With the Jet, as you've seen in my other videos, there's always a modification to be done. Yeah, you buy a bridge, it doesn't quite fit. I bought the Pure Tone sockets, they didn't fit. The input jack didn't fit. The metal surrounding, I had to file it out. The nut doesn't fit. Well, they don't anyway, but the tuners don't fit. You have to, with everything on the Jet are actually the old screws from the Jet, because the new parts with their new screws, the holes are slightly bigger. So you can't use the new screws that come with it. So you have to use the old screws. With the Fender, it's just drop in, it's fine. So yeah. There we go, that's it. Not very useful conclusion, but can you make a Jet sound just as good as a Fender for 4 times less price? Yes. Does it make it better? No. Depends what you want. Do I love both guitars? Hell yeah. So there we go. Now I'm just going to go on and enjoy and play these guitars. So thank you for watching. Enjoy, like and subscribe. So bye bye.